Lyle Menendez is appearing in front of a parole board today, hoping for freedom after 30 years in prison for the murder of his parents. His brother Erik had his hearing yesterday, but had his parole request denied over alleged misbehavior during his time in jail. The panel of 2 California commissioners denied Erik parole for the next 3 years, alleging he worked with a prison gang, purchased drugs, used a cell phone, and helped with a tax scam. He and Lyle were sentenced to life in prison in 1996 for killing their parents. With me now is David Shapiro, criminal defense attorney. David, thanks very much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Let's talk about Erik and having his parole denied yesterday for another 3 years at least. Are you surprised at that?
Well, yes and no. Yes, I was surprised because of the lead up, right? And how much publicity this case has gotten, and how much we've heard about Erik, how much we've heard about these murders, how much we've heard about the last 35 years. But as a California-based, San Diego-based criminal defense attorney, not surprised that someone who was convicted of murder and sentenced to, in essence, last May, resentenced to 50 to life, was not paroled in their first shot. Not necessarily surprised in that at all.
And had we heard of these allegations before about he might have been running in a gang and he had a cell phone and was a tax scam?
To a degree, but not at the depth that we heard at Thursday's parole hearing from the actual parole board officer themselves. We had heard about little things. We had heard about cell phones, which, I mean, admittedly, most people have cell phones in prison nowadays, it seems like. As it relates to the tax scam connected with an alleged prison gang, we had heard something about that, but certainly not to the depth that we heard on Thursday.
Could he face charges for any of those things? What's unfolding in prison?
Yeah,
what's allegedly unfolding, I should say.
Yeah, I mean, probably not. This is not something relatively recent, right? I mean, it's not something within the last couple of months or so. So probably not. I think the bigger issue is, what is he going to be doing over the course of the next 3 years? If he wants to be eligible or actually have a realistic shot at getting paroled in 3 years, if those other avenues to release fail, he's going to go before this parole board again in 3 years and have to obviously put his record up from pretty much yesterday on to show why he's worthy of release.
Okay, and let's talk quickly about Lyle. His hearing is today. Have you heard any similar allegations? How does it look for him?
Yeah, a couple of things about Lyle. One is that whereas my understanding is that he had less allegations of misdoings in custody. Remember, Lyle was the older of the two. Lyle was believed to be the ringleader of this. And Lyle also was, a little bit less about the sexual abuse allegations, even though he claims he was. But it was more Erik at the first trial, and certainly more Erik trying to get that in at the second trial. So whereas Lyle has a better prison record, it seems like, certainly his culpability was arguably even more so than his brother's 35 years ago. So we're expecting a similar result for Lyle today.
And could the governor overturn them?
The governor certainly can. He could grant clemency. That's a whole other avenue. He has an opportunity to overturn the parole board. But Governor Newsom here in California has taken a very sort of wait-and-see approach. So we're not expecting him to do that, because arguably if he was, he would have done it a long time ago.
Okay, David, appreciate your expertise. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
David Shapiro is a criminal defense attorney.